On, that'd be great, girl. Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to Team B Wednesday night's training call. We have a special guest, and Sarah's going to introduce our special guest in a sec. I just want to do a quick update on a few things. I always get our competitive people already saying who's in the lead for the health study for this month. So I'm going to just go through the numbers real quick, just in case you are trying to be in the lead. So there's actually a tie for lead. First person that is in the lead is, myself, truly, myself. I'm actually in the lead. Oh my gosh. I'm bragging because like that never happens because I'm always in management mode, but I swear by Team C. So actually I have six children's health study orders. I'm like, woo! But you know what? Somebody also is on my coattail, Pam Manning. I don't see Pam on here, but she is a distributor under Susan Baker, and Susan actually Pam has six as well. She's from Erin, Ontario. I don't even know who Pam is, but congratulations, Pam. But I'm going to beat you. I'm just going to say I'm going to get you. I'm not going to go down without a fight. Well, who else? And then Christine Card is got 4 CHSs, and she is under Amanda Stone. And then we have a tie for third place. That's Ashley Tuff. You've got 3. I know that you're kicking some serious butt with Team C this month, Ash. Congratulations. And Brendan McDonald, who's, I believe, also under Amanda Stone, is at 3. So we got some fun competition going on. Keep up the great work, everyone. Pinned posts on Design Your Sweet Life page. We always have a contest at the month. Last month, Ashley, you won for the most pins in the month. I say that you're close, but I think Amanda Stone is kicking a little bit of everybody's butt. Amanda's on fire this month, and she is pinning a ton of people in there right now. So I'm just going to do a shout out to Amanda right now. She's in the lead, but there's still a lot of time in the month to get position. Other thing I just want to let you guys know real quick is make sure you guys don't put any sideline buddies in the Design Your Sweet Life, because what ends up happening is once sidelines go on, they start to invite their mass group, and that just happened recently in today, where all of a sudden there was like so many invites, and it was because sidelines were starting to put all of their people in, and we don't want to do that. So we just want to keep it within our team to really support and love on our customers and our prospects. And then a couple things I just want to announce. So of course we have the big Dr. Jim Sears tour here in Ontario. I just want to do a quick shout out. Make sure you guys are in inviting mode if you are in the area. So tomorrow night in Markham, and even if you aren't in the area, here's what you guys need to think about. Do you know anybody in the area that you can invite and send your guests? So Jim Sears tomorrow in Markham, there are no tickets required. You just show up. It opens at 7 and it starts at 7:30, and there's still time to invite. Friday night is going to be in Barrie, and then on Saturday we have our regional. So tickets have opened up again, so don't panic, guys. I know that I believe Jennifer Owen got a bigger room. We had sold out the first time at 100, then she upped it to 120, and there's still people that couldn't get tickets. So I think she got a bigger room at the Holiday Inn. So there are tickets available. So make sure, and the tickets are only $10, and that covers a tea, coffee, and great training for 4 hours, 9 till 1. And it's fun to carpool. I'm already arranging my carpool for the hour-and-a-half trip up there. And then the last thing I just want to mention is we have put together a really cool nutritionist panel next Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. Feedback that we're getting is it would be really nice that once a month that our team specialized in maybe one niche market. And so this month we've decided to focus on nutritionists, and it's open to our entire team, which is awesome. I put a flyer out there already. I'm going to be the host, and we have Jen Pike on. We have Susan Baker on. Who else do we have on? Angela as a student of CSN, which is great, and Melissa Sagan. And so we're just putting the agenda together right now. But anybody that you know that is in the field of like nutrition, touches nutrition, it would be a really great live event. It will be in Zoom. It will be recorded. So don't freak out if you can't get your guest on. It will be recorded, and you can use it as a tool in your toolkit. It's going to be really I love it, because what we're going to do is target each nutritionist to talk about different pain points that typically nutritionists have. You know, the whole dirty word of MLM as a nutritionist, and, you know, residual income and ruining your reputation. We're just kind of having a list of questions, and why Juice Plus checks off as a holistic nutritionist. So it's going to be a great event for you guys. If you got a list together, start inviting. please do not blast that flyer all over social media. That is not what we want. We do not want 90 sideline friends and then not enough room for you guys to get on. So keep the flyer private, and you just individually send it to people. So that's all I had. And at that point, we've got a special guest. So I'm just going to get Sarah to take over. And again, thanks for joining us, and thanks for getting the updates. And Sarah, it's all yours.
Hi guys, welcome. I'm so excited to have my friend, one of my close friends, Michala Peterson on. Michala and I met at Q School. Gosh, I don't know how many years ago that was. Probably 4 years ago now, right, Michala?
I think so.
Yeah. And so Michala is a crazy, busy mom of 4 amazing kids. She's a pharmacist, a farmer. She runs a ranch. If you saw her at conference, she had basically torn apart her leg because it got stuck in the mud, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I broke both bones in my lower leg. Yep.
Yeah, and so like all this going on, this girl built to NMD in 17 months and QNMD in 12 months. So I'm really excited to have her on here. But not only did she do that, she continues to grow strong by leading her team with new frontline sales coordinators, SSCs, Express Tracks, HLPs. If you've been around since the beginning, you remember the old 5-1 rule, 5 new customers a month, 1 new rep. She still hits that and works through that. So I'm really excited to have her on. We've got about 24 minutes, Michala, and I'm almost nervous to give her questions because I want to let her just unleash the beast for us and just share what she does. But because like we were talking, and I'm like, wait, talk about that. But we could have used an hour probably. But I guess the first thing I want to know is like, what was the activity, like as a busy mom in, working, I think you said 3 to 4 days a week as a pharmacist, you built to Q in 12 months and NMD in 17 months. So obviously you had vision, obviously you had a plan and you executed. What was the activity you did? Like, just tell us a little bit about that.
Well, first of all, I was just ignorance on fire. And, I would just encourage you, all those reps that you bring into your team that say that, oh, I have a good job, it's my passion, I don't have any goals, I don't want to go anywhere in this business, get them on a connection call anyway, and let your upline cast the vision. Because what happened to me is 5 weeks into our journey, a mom of a kiddo with cancer asked me how long I'd known about Juice Plus and why I didn't tell her sooner. And it just tugged at my heart. And so I would say the 2 things are I was consistent and was coachable. You mentioned the 5-1. I didn't love doing events at the time. And so the first year, we still are 100% for inviting families over to our kitchen table and signing them up for Juice Plus. It's not like we make it an event, but they see it on the counter. We make banana ice cream. We have protein balls. It just naturally comes up. I think the other thing is that I knew right off the bat that to get to NMD, I needed to touch 750 families. And I loved, even though I'm not a numbers person, I still loved going into my team data and customer analysis and seeing that number go up and up and up. And so our team really just fell in love with the product. Nobody in Nebraska really knew about Juice Plus yet. And so we were pretty much just ignorance on fire.
Wow, amazing. And so what I found most fascinating is that like you were a new rep, but you were looking at reports. There might be a connection here if you don't know what you're working towards numbers wise as far as orders go and you don't know how to follow reports. Like it sounds like that really worked for you. It gave you something to follow and kind of like measure.
Yeah, I would say not probably right off the bat, but once we hit SC and my husband and I went to conference together with 2 reps on our team, and that was really going to be the make it or break it moment for us. And Mark heard Jay Martin speak, and that was it. He came home a rep on our team. And from then on, I would say it was absolute go time. So that was in April, and then we hit SSC in June and Q in August. So, and all that time I was working, 3 days a week. So I was just building the business in stolen moments. I had an 8-month-old, a 2-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 5-year-old at that time. None of them were in school. So, you just do what you have to do. And when you have a passion for it, the how becomes easy, right?
Amazing. Amazing. And it just lets us all know that, like, you know, we all have excuses why we can't do this business. Let's turn those into reasons why we can, right? Because you wanted to be at home with those babies, and you get to do that now, which is like such a huge.
Yeah.
So it sounds like your husband, he joined you in the business. Is it something that when you bring people into your house and you're sharing, with your friends, it's something you're doing together? I think it sounds like your buddy was your husband. It's so important. Jay talks about finding a buddy. That was your husband.
I get a new buddy every 3 months, honestly. Because I don't know if that's a secret or not, but I mean, my first buddy in the business was my best friend, and then my husband caught the vision. And so then he was my buddy. And I feel like kind of every new rep that comes in that's frontline to me is a buddy, because I want to not really compete, but I have a competitive spirit. And so I never want them to do something that I'm not doing myself. So I think it does keep me relevant by, being in the field, building frontline, because that never gets old, right? And it's so fun. I did have a period in our business where we kind of got stagnant, and that was because one of the reasons was because I was invited to speak at a boot camp, and it was Kurt Beavers and David Phillips and Lauren Slocum and Gordon Hester, Ellie Shepley. I mean, all of these big names, and I'm thinking, what is a country bumpkin like me going to add to that star-studded lineup? And I got into that comparison mode. And what I realized through that is that I needed to tell my team my struggles, because authenticity is one of my biggest values. And so if I wasn't feeling authentic in a message, then I wouldn't leave it, because I wanted to be that perpetual cheerleader. But what they thought was that I constantly am farting rainbows and I don't have any struggles. And that was the time in our business when we were kind of, we went through a stagnant point, and that comparison is total cancer. And so my team helped me work through that, though, which was pretty fun. So anyway, I don't think that was the question. Sorry.
No, that's okay. I love that, because I think it's so easy from afar to see people grow. And you are like, what's wrong with me? Why don't I have a 24 club? Why don't I have 39 club? Why am I still in SC when that person started after me and she's an NMD? And we start asking ourselves these negative questions rather than saying, well, how can I get there, right? And so you turn that around with your team, which is awesome. So right. I know a lot of people struggle, at least I can attest to this, and I feel like I'm kind of in this right now, is like when you get new team members, for me, when I look at you and I look at your business, I see you personally sponsoring, personally leading people, personally fast-tracking people, in addition to your downline. How are you keeping them engaged? Not only are you keeping them engaged, but like, how do you set them up for success that they have a desire to actually answer the Voxers? Never mind.
Yeah, that's a good question. So for us on our team, we do have 3 requirements to be a rep. I want to preface it by saying our raving fan customers are already on Voxer. So that's one requirement, is to get on Voxer, because, I have 4 kids. Like, I was on my way home and we pulled over at a state rec park, I think it is. And I've got, kids playing out in front of me. I don't have time to be on the phone constantly. And so they need to be used to Voxer, because I can make a kick butt message on the way to the washing machine, but I don't have 20 minutes a day to be on the phone with them. That's number 1. Number 2 is that they get on a connection call with our upline, Michelle, who's been in the business for 15 years. And I think verbiage, I have not had anyone that said, nope, I don't want to do a connection call. And the verbiage that I use is, I want to get you on a 30-minute call with my good friend, Michelle. It's going to be totally informal, just to get to know you call. And the reason for that is, if something ever happens to me, you'll already have known her, and you'll know that you have a whole team behind you should you ever decide to do anything with this business. Because a lot of times they just want to save money on the product or whatever. And then the third thing is to listen to the book Exactly What to Say before they even watch any Juice Plus videos or share with anyone. That little book is 1 hour and 14 minutes on Audible. It has changed the way I parent. It's changed the way I talk to my team. It's changed the way I talk to my husband. And it gives new reps confidence to go out and HLP in their first week. What is the book? It's called Exactly What to Say, and I think it's by Philip Jones, but don't quote me. I can send Sarah a picture of the book on Audible. It's exactly what to say though.
Amazing. And it's only an hour and what?
It's an hour and 14 minutes. And you guys, I'm not kidding you. I would not be telling you about this if it has not changed my life. I've listened to it 14 times now. I have two brothers that are, and you're like, oh my gosh, that's like 17 hours of time that you could be building your business. But I have two brothers that are physicians that don't understand nutrition. And I listen to that book every single time I'm going to be around them, because I know that if I would have listened to that book before I shared Juice Plus with them, I would have two brothers on my team at this moment. I am 100% confident. So I just can't say enough good things about it. It's life-changing.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that. And I think we should do a team challenge to see who.
Yeah, it's good. And then you asked about keeping them engaged, Sarah.
Yes.
And I just want to say that the people that go fast on our team are on TeamZ. Now, we didn't have TeamZ when I started, but I was using something very, I was doing it myself on paper, basically. Sarah and I buddied up as TeamZ buddies. And you all know Sarah, but I didn't have a Sarah in my life before I had a Sarah in my life. And I would be at work, like covering at the pharmacy for a vacation, and it would be 5 o'clock my time, and Sarah would be on Voxer like, hello, sleepyhead, you haven't logged into TeamZ today. What's going on? Why are you?
When was that? That was like a year when it first came out, like a year ago, huh?
Yeah. So anyway, we started, I think, in October, buddying up together. We promoted a VF direct to us in October. We promoted a VF to us direct in November. In December, we had 6 new customers. In January, we had 13 new customers. None of that had happened for a while, by the way. I mean, I was kind of at that point in the business where I was ready to be in grow mode again. And we, in between November and March, when I got hurt, we had raised our paycheck $1,000 a month. So I cannot say enough good things about TeamZ. That's how I know who really wants to work, and I can see their screen and they can see mine. And so I want to go. And then from March to now, we've raised it another $300, which I don't know any job that you could do that. This sounds bad, but I was laid up like literally in bed for a lot of that 6 weeks. And so I say that, who else could build a paycheck like that from bed in a legal way, right? I mean, I don't want it to.
That's hilarious. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. I love it. So how do you keep them engaged? How do you keep your team engaged and moving forward?
Yeah, we do contests every month. We have the contest around connection calls, so that helps keep them engaged. We have the contest around, if they get a 5-1, they're entered into one $50 drawing. If they connect somebody with me or get a new trio customer, whatever, all of those people go into 2 other $50 drawings. So I think that's a good way to keep them engaged. We have a book club. We're just reading The Energy Bus right now. And then we have a team huddle. Really, though, the way that I know that they're engaged is TeamZ. And so that's my biggest measurement tool, because we know that TeamZ is only $19 whatever a month. And if you're working TeamZ, you're going to get at least 1 new trio a month. And those new customers are what light their fire, I mean, everyone loves getting a new customer. So I would say TeamZ is the kind of the pinnacle of that.
Amazing. Amazing. I love it, because that's exactly where we're at with our team, is just trying to get everybody on board with it. The majority of the people are, and the ones that aren't, hopefully after tonight, guys, who wants to raise back $1,000 in 4 months? Come on.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I heard you talk earlier when you and I were talking. I would say that you are a woman of consistency. So when we teamed up on TeamZ, probably, I don't even know if it wasn't just this past year. I think it was back in July. I don't know. Anyways, it's been a while. You were already so consistent before that, and you've always been consistent. You've always showed up consistent. And I don't think that there's ever been a time where I've really chatted with you or we've checked in, because we've been accountability buddies for a while now, long while, that you're ever really in a low season. So like, how do you keep that passion and that consistency going? And what is the consistency that you're doing? Obviously you're going to come back to TeamZ, which is, a no-brainer, but like tell me more about your consistency.
Yeah, I think just keeping the funnel full, you know what I mean? If I honestly, I have a tendency to want to stay at home. And so push yourself, get out of the house. I have found that, those are the times in my life where I don't feel on fire, is when I'm kind of just staying at home and doing my own thing there. Teamsy kind of challenges you with that. But I mean, what's not to be on fire for, I mean, we get to tell people about something that can help them not need medication, right? I mean, I've seen that as a pharmacist time and time and time again. What other way can you find a passion, help people, do it with a baby on your hip? My kids are with me, except conference in Dallas, I guess, everywhere that I go. And so, we have something that deserves to be shared, right? And so, I mean, there have been months where I haven't gotten the 5 customers or whatever, but it's not because I'm not sharing. I'm still planting seeds. I'm still getting out there, and I absolutely love meeting eclectic people in weird places. I met a guy at a Fort Kearny expo, like an outdoor expo that has a rife machine the other day. I mean, you think Juice Plus isn't right up his alley, that cured cancer in the 1930s? You know what I mean? I mean, it's just kind of crazy. So get out to the grocery store, meet new people. We've adopted 3 different older grandparents in the grocery store just by striking up conversations. So I think just be present and be out there and exude the energy that you would want to talk to, right? Because I think that's so important in who you attract and what your business attracts.
Amazing. So I love that. And I was going to go through with like, how do you keep your mindset focused forward at all times? But it's because you're constantly engaged. You're keeping your feet close to the fire. You're in go mode, keeping up with your team, and not letting them out perform you, right? That's how you're doing it. So I don't need to ask that question because that's really apparent. So just the fact that your statement about, meeting eclectic people in eclectic places, like, we've got, 8 minutes left, and we can't open up the lines after maybe just a couple, but like, what is that? Like, what do those conversations look like? Give us some verbiage, you bring some friends over, you sit down at the table. Hey, by the way, we do this. This is what we do. And, whatever, right? Like, how does that go? Or like, when you're out, what kind of questions do you ask? And, what system do you follow to make sure that they're, receiving the information?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I like to ask them, I like to know 3 things about them before I talk. So even if they ask me something about me, I turn it right back to them. And because by the time I've asked 3 questions, I oftentimes know about their family. I know if they're healthy, or, I don't always ask, what would you like to see improve in your health, like the first time, but I know what they do. And within 3 questions, people are usually going to complain about their health or their wealth. That's something that usually happens. So I love meeting people in the grocery store, because guess what? You can screw it up. You're never going to see them again, possibly, right? And so I love going to different grocery stores. And if I could make a living off of adopting old people, I'd be a millionaire. I just dig old people. I grew up working in a funeral home. I love it. So a lady that we met at the Fresh Time grocery store here in Nebraska, I had a cart full of produce, and she walks up and says to my girls, "Are you going to eat all this produce?" And my girls look at her like, well, what else are we going to do with it? Anyway, she looks exactly like Wendy Campbell, 85 years old. We end up going over to her house the next time because we completely hit it off in the grocery store. And I said, "What do you do for a living?" And she said, "Well, I think I just love Jesus for a living." And I said, "Well, that's awesome. I love Jesus too. That's great." And it turns out she juices 3 times a week. So she brought us over to her house to show us how she juiced. She has a tiny house living next door, or, next door, that the kids played in all the time. And she introduced me to a vibration machine and said that that's her secret to looking 60 years old at 85. Just weird stuff like that. She's a rep. And so, an 85-year-old rep without internet and is legally blind poses a few issues. But, that's another tip is, we talked about be authentic, be fearless. What do you have to lose, right? And then be open to who God puts in your path. You guys, we have a totally eclectic team. We have a recovering meth addict. We have a roller derby girl. We have lawyer and nurses and physician's assistants and, you know, everything in between. So it's just fun to just be open to who God puts in your path.
I love that. I love that. And you're so authentic. And I'm sure that's why your team is so wanting to follow you and just do whatever you're doing, because you're just so real and you just put it out there and you're not trying to be anybody else. You're not trying to be the Kurt Beavers or a Wendy Campbell or anybody else. And I think that's the beauty of like when you come into the thought of like, I am enough on my own. I don't need to be that, right? Then they'll follow.
Yeah.
Awesome. We've got 5 minutes, guys. Nicole, are you okay with me opening up the lines? I can see you in my screen. Yeah. All right. Unmute your line if you've got a question for Michala. I know she's got a car full of children on the side of the road because she forgot something and had to drive an hour and a half out of her way. So she's here, but go ahead for a few more minutes. Anybody?
I unmuted. What is your favorite event that you would do over and over and over again? Like what is your go-to event?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked that question, because that's what I was just thinking, that I hadn't talked about events. So a year in, we had hit Q, and we decided to have our first panel event, and there were 81 people in the room, and I really caught the bug because I went, holy moly. I've been doing this around our kitchen table, you know, making small talk until somebody asks me about Juice Plus, and I can do this in the front of the room with 81 people and impact so many more lives. So I love doing panel events. Lately, we've been taking a lesson from Sarah and doing empowerment events a little different. We have been inviting a motivational speaker that isn't associated with Juice Plus to talk for the first 15 minutes. And then we switch to a panel of inspiring stories. And we like our stories like we like our produce. We like them fresh, we like them real, and we like them raw, right? So those events are super easy to invite for because they build for the motivational speaker. And so that's kind of fun. We're getting ready to do a Burgers, Blue Rock, and Business event for couples. So the men are going to come and shoot Blue Rock, and we're going to have burgers and stuff like that. We have had great success with Men of Juice Plus tell-all panels. So that's kind of panel-ish talk. We do overnight oats events. We do salad in a jars over and over and over. Prep events are awesome. I know your team is big on that, and they work really well. Our team, though, last summer started doing consistent play dates in the park, and that worked really well. You know, it was more of like a healthy living community. We got several reps off of that. We got several customers. Most importantly, though, they fell in love with the community. And that is what I think is our biggest draw, bigger, you know, almost bigger than the product and the business, because everyone needs a soft place to land where you know that you're going to be loved for you. So those are kind of our favorite go-to events. We've had some that weren't so successful too, you know, but we've done a couple painting and prevention events where you like do the wine and, you know, like the corky canvas type thing where we have somebody come in and instruct them how to paint a canvas or whatever as we're talking about prevention. So I think the only bad event is the one you don't do.
Love it. Love it. All right. One more question, and then we're going to jump off and jump onto our overview. Anyone else? I see Sarah says, I love it. Someone says, how do you keep your kids quiet in the car?
Well, I like Benadryl. No, I'm just teasing. They're actually, they're sitting on the hood of the car. Can you see this? Oh, my husband would be freaking out right now that they're like bending the cattle guard, but heck, they've been quiet for 30 minutes, so you don't care, right?
What's the cattle guard? Bending the cattle guard.
Yeah.
Nebraska.
We could show you a lot.
I gotta come. Family trip. When's the next summit in Nebraska? Okay, so anybody else? Well, you know what? I'm just going to close out because it's 5:59 here, 8:59 Eastern Standard Time for those of you who have joined us from Ontario, which is the majority. Just want to say, and I see Jen saying thank you. I found so much value in this call. I love you. I always find value when you speak, and I'm always in awe of you and aspiring to like you. And I
likewise.
I love you. And I'm just so thankful and grateful that everybody else that got to be part of this experience with you. Also just want to note that she's mentioned her husband a lot and couples a lot. Guys, I think that, you know, a lot of my friends in the other industries, same industry, different businesses grow with their husbands, by their side, and we tend to just grow on our own. And I think obviously it's a numbers game, right? So the more people we can share with their people, and the more sound, having to their sharing is more convincing. Not that we need to convince, but you know what I'm trying to say. I'm at a loss for words because you took them all.
I just want to say one more thing, Sarah. Getting the husbands on board may take a little incentive on your part, but it is well worth it, I promise you.
Awesome. I remember. I'm not going to tell that story. I remember the story you told me with the one rep. Okay, you guys can fill in the blanks. Thank you, guys. We'll see you next week. Keep kicking butt. Thanks, Nicole.
Thank you.
Bye.